Making headlines tonight, government continues reforms of the aviation sector. Concern about threats to media workers in Barbados and the world. Barbados and the United Nations to sign a new agreement. And coming up in sports, Toners and Deacons on course for the 2022 Volleyball Double.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. A large quantity of guns and ammunition has been discovered at the Bridgetown port. CBC News understands the find was made yesterday by customs officers. Reports suggest about 36 guns and over 700 rounds of ammunition were seized. The weapons were reportedly concealed in a container. According to Police Communications and Public Affairs Officer Acting Inspector Rodney Innes, officers were called in after the discovery was made. He says an investigation is ongoing at this time. Attorney General Dale Marshall, commenting on the weapons discovery, says he has to congratulate the Customs Department for the work done. He says it is something Barbados has to celebrate as the country works with its overseas partners to address this type of crime. The creation of a civil aviation authority is among government's plans as it moves to reform the civil aviation sector. This was revealed by Minister of Energy and Business, Kerry Simmons, as he led off debate on the civil aviation bill in the House of Assembly this morning. Mr. Simmons says the country has so far failed to maximize the commercial and economic potential of the country's aerodrome.
We have seen the airport, expand physically in terms of its campus. We have seen a lot more commercial passenger traffic come to Barbados. We have doubled our little toe in the water with a flight school, Mr. Speaker. We have had the benefit of our own air traffic control tower, where we offer air navigation services, sir. We have trained people. But what we have failed to do is to sustain these efforts in a meaningful way and to develop them, sir, to the fullest of their potential. And perhaps if you think it through, you will realize that all of those things that I talk about are things, sir, that should bring revenue into the country.
Mr. Simmons explains what is being proposed is a model which sets out separate roles for those responsible for regulations and service providers.
If you look critically at the airport, not saying, sir, as some do, that looking at the airport means you go up there and look at the physical plant. But you look at the airport's operation, you will see, sir, that the regulation of the things that happen in the airport, the management of it, the control of the operations, the control of important procedures and processes, Mr. Speaker, sir, the regulation of activity at the airport is done by the same entity that is the service provider at the airport. So that there is, in a real sense, a conflict of interest, because I am providing the service, but at the same time I regulate myself.
Minister of Agriculture, Indar Ware, believes the increasing use of technology in air transport could result in the creation of jobs for more Barbadians.
Whenever you purchase an airline ticket, you don't get airline ticket anymore. You get a signal sent to your mobile device, to your iPad, to an email somewhere. If you choose to print it, that's entirely up to you, but you do not have to. And you can now provide an opportunity, sir, for young people to get into software development, so that another opportunity arises for us to find new forms of employment for people, getting involved in software development, but equally also getting involved in training.
Meanwhile, Minister of Labour, the Social Partnership and the Third Sector, Colin Jordan, sees the civil aviation bill as a way to help air traffic workers develop. He says the legislation will unlock opportunities for them.
Training is very important because the whole matter of air traffic and the guidance of planes into a country, air traffic control becomes critical. With all the technology in the world, we are still on this planet reliant to some degree on air traffic controllers helping us to have safe landings of aircraft.
As Barbados prepares to celebrate its 56th anniversary of independence, the capital is being transformed into a sea of blue, yellow, and black. November 30th will also mark the country's first year as a republic, having officially severed ties with Britain. When CBC visited Bridgetown today, workmen were busy erecting independence bunting outside the Treasury building and along Bridge Street. It's customary that on November 1st, roundabouts and buildings across the 11 parishes are also illuminated with the national colors. Barbados and the United Nations are preparing to sign a new agreement as they seek to continue more than 5 decades of cooperation. This was revealed by Minister in the Prime Minister's office, Senator Dr. Chantal Munro-Knight. She was speaking on United Nations Day yesterday as the agency observed its 77th anniversary. The occasion was commemorated with the lighting of the UN's multi-country office in blue, a symbol of the UN's presence and work in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean.
Barbados and the UN will soon, very soon, we're hoping, sign our country implementation plan, which will signal the alignment of UN policies and programs with that on the government and provide a pathway for us to implement, as we have continued to do through our relationships, key programs that again will benefit our citizens in all of the social and economic areas in which the UN functions.
UN Resident Coordinator for Barbados in the Eastern Caribbean, Didier Trebek, has recommitted to helping countries in the region fight the challenges they are facing.
The work we do may not always make the headlines, but we have the results to show how we make a difference in the lives of the people everywhere. With a growing UN family here in the region, we commit to supporting the progress made to increase resilience to climate change and access to financing for Caribbean seas. We're determined in this. With the global goals as a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all, we also continue to explore every avenue to truly leave no one behind.
Coming up after the break, 3 men injured after a shooting incident last night. Lawmen are at this hour searching for the gunmen responsible for yet another drive-by shooting that has left 3 young men critically injured. According to police reports, District A personnel responded to a shooting which was reported via telephone to the police operations control room about 11 last night. The nature of the report was that 3 men, 2 of them 18 years old, the other 21, were shot and injured in the drive-by shooting at Pioneer Road, Bush Hall, St. Michael. Police say that all 3 men were liming at a house in the area when a vehicle slowly drove by and turned around in a nearby gap. The shots were fired and damaged a motor car and the house in the incident. The injured men were transported for medical attention by a private vehicle. Their injuries are said to be critical, with 2 of them sustaining gunshot wounds to their abdomens and 1 of them to his back. A suggestion: media workers in Barbados and in the world are facing increased threats and attacks. To this end, First Vice President of the Association of Caribbean Media Workers, Emmanuel Joseph, is calling on journalists to speak about these challenges to the profession. Mr. Joseph's message comes on the heels of a senior television anchor from Pakistan being killed in suspicious circumstances, and also as the Public Media Alliance reports a surge in online attacks on media professionals.
This is an unfortunate situation, and we all as media people have to be very vigilant and look out for these things. So we have to be on the ball and be aware that when you touch one, you touch all. So even though some of these things may happen outside of Barbados, it is as though it happens to us all, because we are in the same profession, and as the old people will say, what doesn't happen in a day happen in a year, or vice versa.
Mr. Joseph, who's also the General Secretary of the Barbados Association of Journalists and Media Workers, says the strategies available to the media to keep themselves safe are limited. The Barjam General Secretary traveled to Trinidad and Tobago this morning to attend a seminar on how to cover stories dealing with corruption, which he says is another source of danger to the health and well-being of journalists.
That is one of the things that journalists get killed for when they investigating corruption. And some of the instances I mentioned to you with respect to journalists who were threatened or were killed is because they were investigating high-level corruption. So we are looking at that issue. It is a 3-day seminar in Trinidad, and we will be exploring various issues with relation to corruption and how to go about covering these things, and some of the things that you need to look for, the signs and the nuances involved in corruption. And therefore, this will be a very instructive seminar.
If there were any doubt CSME was alive and well, there was strong evidence of its existence this morning as a group of local students headed to Jamaica for a special trip. Sharika Griffith has that story.
20 upper sixth form students, 4 teachers and the principal of Harrison College are participating in an exchange with Campion College, Jamaica over the next 7 days. Juanita Wade says the trip, the first of its kind, will help expose the students to regional issues they may be confronted with in the future.
So it's going to be a full program. Apart from the days when we are at school, we're going to be taking in some cultural activities and of course some places of interest. It is all about experiencing the different culture, and even though we're studying the same subjects, we expect that there will be different approaches. So our teachers will have the opportunity to exchange with their colleagues in Jamaica, and we're expecting that they're going to be coming to Barbados early in January to do the same thing in Barbados. We would like it to become an annual occasion. Different schools, different countries. We're hoping that other schools in Barbados will be interested in a similar program.
Sixth form year head Carl Applewaite believes it's an important part of an effort to develop active regional citizens.
Many students you would find would have gone to North America or Europe, but we can't be talking about regional integration and we have students who have not experienced the region. So therefore we identify Jamaica as one of those regional territories that we should visit.
The students have high expectations.
Some of us who are a bit athletic, we get to see the Jamaican training system and see what makes them so great. I think that's one of the big things that we're excited about.
And I'm very glad that we were able to have this opportunity. We are very privileged, and I hope that this is something that can continue amongst the region, as we are all the youth and we are the future. So it's great that these things can happen at these ages.
Other students believe their preparation for Caribbean studies will be enhanced by learning more about Jamaica.
How their people live, their religious beliefs, their cultural diversity. I think it will help us a lot to also branch out and experience more of who we are as a people.
I believe that this trip to Jamaica will allow me to have a better understanding of others and how they learn and see new learning techniques, which will allow me to do great in my CAPE exams in the coming future.
School officials say they're also hoping to observe best practices from Campion College, which is considered a high-performing institution regionally. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Sports time now. We head back on over to the sports studio and say a very good evening to Mark Sue for the first time.
A very good evening to you, Shane. Good evening, everyone. We're going to start with some volleyball, where Women League champions Burger King Clapham Toners and Men's Kings Deacons are in line for the 2022 double, as they both advance to the finals of the Goddard Enterprises Limited Division 1 knockout competition after their wins in the semis at the Willie Gym last night. The Deacons men dismissed CEO Williams Foundation in 3 straight sets, while Toners took 4 sets to get by Chargers. Meanwhile, Deacons women polished off UWI Blackbirds in 4 sets to meet the Toners in their final, while Cormier's 4-set win over Progressive earned them a date with Deacons in the men's final tomorrow.
Progressive men taking on Cormier with their backs to us. Ivan Grant serving, and Cormier wasting no time in setting up Akeem Payne for the kill, but the block denies him the execution. Mark Lewis sending off this one, and Progressive, look at this for a statement. That ball given the boot literally. The Waterford-based team wasn't too bothered by that. Marty Grimes from out of nowhere, what packs! Grimes now serving to Progressive, but they lose it, and Cormier pounced. Robert Gooding is the man with the plan at the net. Game getting tense, and Cormier with their noses in front, but Fabian Cox had enough of that. Boom, shakalaka! Cormier didn't really enjoy that and decided to strike back immediately, finding the left-handed Sean Simpson, who fires it into the back court of Progressive. And they weren't finished yet, taking advantage of this free ball from Progressive. And if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? To Simpson again, who gets this player to nick it on his way out. Point to Cormier. Late in the final set with Cormier on the brink of victory, Progressive didn't know what to do with this ball, allowing gravity to take over, and Cormier running away as victors, winning 24-26, 25-21, 25-22, 25-21. In this clash of the female heavyweights, Blackbirds and Deacons, that's Julia Lewis with the serve. And the set play finds Shakira Smiley Hall, and she brings down the hammer early. Deacons with the serve again, and this time things will go a bit differently because they were better able to block this one at the net. Nicolette Pilgrim with the big serve for Blackbirds, but that's no problem for Deacons. Watch Carrington, she outthinks them and outdinks them. Deacons closing in on victory, and Blackbirds fighting back. Nikita Wickham acing this serve, but it just delayed the inevitable as she serves again, and Deacons left it up to the seasoned Lewis to clip the wings of the Blackbirds. Deacons winning 25-17, 23-25, 25-16, 25-21. Sean Green, CBC Sports.
The Business Report, brought to you by the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, a department of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, supporting young entrepreneurs from idea to enterprise.
In tonight's Yes Business Report, the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme recently made provision for some of its clients to be part of the Trade and Innovation Summit that was put on by the Barbados Manufacturers Association as a new replacement for BMEX. Ryan Broom has more.
Speaking on the sidelines of the summit, manager of Yes, Ryan Mosley, talked about the significance of the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme's involvement in the summit by facilitating participation for some of its clients.
This is part of Yes's mandate to provide opportunities for their clients to showcase their products. COVID would have been dealt us a hard blow for 2 years, so we are now actively getting back out in the market. We would have done AgriFest early in the year. Recently we had the Yes Trade Expo and Talent Show as part of the National Youth Week 2022. So this is another opportunity that Yes provides for their clients to show forth and to sell their products and to make some sales. There are some other plans for later in the year that you will hear of soon, but this today is the Trade and Innovation Summit, where 9 Yes clients are on display and they are selling products and meeting with the public.
And as some of those clients who took part in the summit believe the opportunity to showcase their products at the event was truly invaluable. Among them, Zachary Lynch of the company Liquid Desires, which manufactures a hot stepper pepper sauce.
I think it's extremely important. I can't speak for everybody here, but I mean, for us, getting exposure and getting access to markets can be difficult for small businesses because the cost of, these events for vendors could be costly, and then you don't know if you can sell or not. You can make a loss. Some people can make a loss depending on traffic as well too. So having the opportunity to get in through some of the development agencies cut our costs for us so that we can get the exposure that we need to sell the product and to build our brand. So I think it's fantastic. I think we should do a lot more. I think this is good, but I think it could be way better, and I think it's a start.
And Alicia Springer of Teaser's Skincare was also pleased to be there.
So far, my experience with the Innovation Summit, being allowed to be here by Yes was a very interesting thing. I was very excited, and while being here, I was open up to a lot of opportunities. There were persons reaching out to have our products in store and also to give us information about being able to export. So it was a learning experience for me.
Kiara Riley of Kiara's Enterprises says it represented a golden opportunity to further showcase the company's baked goods and sweet treats.
The Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme providing this opportunity really allows small entrepreneurs to get out there and allows persons to actually be able to interact with the owner. So you might see a product in a store, but you're not necessarily meeting the owner, but in this forum, you can have conversations, you can ask questions, you can get familiarized with the products. So right now we offer the locals in that case showcase, but we have something coming next year, which are marshmallows, but we're doing it with a twist. Yes, please, and we're looking at having some great things coming very soon. We're at Sunrise Cafe in St. John. The lady that owns that cafe as well, she's also a part of Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, and we're also in Moontongue, St. Lucie.
And Adora Hoyt of Own Way Apparel says it was a truly beneficial experience.
Being able to be here at TIS has been an interesting experience for me. You know, getting to meet other entrepreneurs that I could be able to, you know, work with future projects with. That has been quite beneficial, and also being able to show off my business to more people, you know, get the business out there a little bit more than what I would probably be able to do, you know, just from the internet or whatever. It's been good.
So here's looking forward to even more marketplace opportunities for YES clients heading into the end of 2022 and into the new year. Do support them whenever you see them. For the YES Business Report, I'm Ryan Brew.
New mitigation measures are being implemented to address the connectivity concerns of new customers to the electricity grid. Word of this from President of the Barbados Renewable Energy Association, Robert Goodridge. He says Barbados is going through a transition process.
A year ago, we were experiencing substantial delays just getting a generation license. That has been improved significantly with the online application process. Indeed, Barbados Light and Power will have to continually rapidly develop their processes in order to serve us appropriately and accommodate the vital and necessity transition to renewable energy.
That's our news. Good night and be good. Thanks for visiting us. To get more stories like this one, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.